This is the people of the state of Michigan versus Mandy Morgan.
And this matter comes before the court today on Miss Morgan's request to set aside a conviction, two convictions of assault resist obstructed police officer from 2019. So, as an initial matter, counsel, why don't you place your appearance on the record?
Bonnie Prevet on behalf of the people.
Very well. And ma'am, you're Miss Morgan? You're going to have to unmute Miss Morgan.
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry.
All right. And Miss Morgan, I'm going to swear you in if you'd please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that your testimony today will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Ms. Morgan, did you receive the prosecutor's office's response to your motion?
Yes, I did. I didn't understand it, though.
Okay. Well, I can tell you that I received that. And did you receive a copy of the letter from Police Department Detective Levi Guppy?
I think it was some man. It was some man who wrote a letter. He said he can't appear in court.
Yeah, he was a Grand Rapids police officer, and the gist of his letter there was that, and I'm not certain if it was, it was in connection with this incident because he describes the resisting and obstructing as you trying to force your way into a vehicle against his orders at the time while you were intoxicated.
Mandy recounts her version of the incident, alleging multiple punches, handcuffing, and near-fatal force, emphasizing her intent to simply turn off her car alarm. She highlights perceived gaps in prior representation, emphasizing that her prior lawyer did not fully argue her side. The court listens, but repeatedly notes that official investigations, including internal affairs and civil rights complaints, found no sustained evidence. This segment underscores how legal processes rely heavily on documentation, camera evidence, and agency findings, which can feel disconnected from a victim's lived experience.
And stemming out of that, then, he states there were false allegations, including internal affairs complaints with the police department and the jail, alleging discourtesy, excessive force, sexual discrimination, and racial discrimination, and also with the Department of Civil Rights against the city of Grand Rapids. Detective Guppy, and the county sheriff's office. And that ultimately all those investigations concluded by 2022 with the finding of that they weren't supported or that they were false in the case of the internal affairs complaints. So he is requesting that I deny the request to set aside the conviction based on, one of the standards to set aside conviction is that the amount of time has passed since the conviction, and second, that your conduct during the time since the conviction has been good enough to merit setting aside the conviction. Why shouldn't I do what the detective wants me to do in this case and deny your request at this time?
Well, I was abused that whole night.
The discussion shifts to Mandy's life since the convictions. She emphasizes maintaining a job, raising a 14-year-old daughter, and keeping a clean record. Her testimony reveals ongoing trauma, anxiety, and fear of law enforcement. The judge reiterates that part of the set-aside process evaluates conduct post-conviction, highlighting how courts weigh rehabilitation and behavior alongside alleged injustices. Mandy's frustration reflects the difficulty victims face when procedural closure doesn't align with their personal experience of harm.
I have brought out body cams with that lawyer that I had. He's not saying any of that, Judge. He's not saying anything about how he punched me into my head multiple times. The only reason why I went to go into the truck with the key is to turn my alarm off. And I was in handcuffs already. I got slammed to the ground. I got almost beaten to death outside and in the jail.
All right. Well, I was there. Obviously, I didn't see what happened. What lawyer represented you in the matter?
I don't remember her name, but I know she was tall and she had red hair.
Okay. Was she your criminal
It was a
lawyer?
long time ago, so I
It
really
might have been Laura Joyce, I suppose.
yes,
She's with the
yes. I think
defendant's office
that's
and fits your
yes.
description. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, the bottom line, though, is that even after reviewing the cameras and, the information during the investigation, none of those agencies found a reason to, sustain your complaint or even write a letter of reprimand, much less take any disciplinary action. It sounds to me like that the allegations, weren't supported adequately by the video and things like that, or I would have expected some sort of outcome to come out of those investigations. So, I guess
They
I've
didn't
got,
even give me a chance to, even voice my opinion on how that happened. Even my auntie was the one who called the police and lied. How am I driving with my daughter when my car was parked in my auntie's yard and my dad had my keys? See, nobody was there, to actually see really what happened.
yeah.
My whole
Oh,
family seen it, and I feel like how they almost killed me that night.
The court probes details about the plea and prior hearings. Mandy claims she was coerced into pleading guilty due to intimidation and potential retaliation. The judge acknowledges the claim, but notes that procedural protocols were followed and that plea agreements generally assume voluntary acknowledgement of guilt. Mandy expresses that prior investigations ignored her evidence and perspective. This section highlights the tension between procedural safeguards, plea bargaining, and the perception of fairness in legal outcomes.
I feel that I should have a chance of freedom of all the good. I mean, I done been good for how many years? I haven't even been a felon. My background isn't even bad. I'm not that type of person.
why don't you
But for
describe to me some of the other things you've been up to since that time?
I
Uh,
got me a job. I work at Cisco at sanitation.
okay.
I
How long you been
I
working there?
DoorDash. I have a 14-year-old daughter.
How long you been working at Cisco?
Almost a month now.
Okay.
It just hurts me because they almost killed me. And my mental state is really bad against, like, I'm scared to death of the police. How a man feels like they can punch me in my head that hard and so many times and expecting me just to take it. And how they threw me in the holding cell and put their knees in my back, sir.
Yeah, well, and like I said, I of course wasn't there. I didn't see any of those things. I do see that, ultimately coming out of that, you did plead to the two. Uh,
They made me plead to that too. And it also says attempt as a misdemeanor.
right,
They
they were
made me
both
plead to that.
attempted. Yeah, yeah,
They made
both
me plead to
misdemeanor.
that because of what they did. They didn't want me to go further with what they did to me out there.
Well, I mean,
Body cams was shown in the court and everything.
when I do take pleas, every week. And when you take one, you do have to say that, you are guilty of what the charges are and that, no one's threatening you or, making any side deals with you, as it were. And it sounds like then that, you know,
In that court hearing, it was all types of side deals. The man wasn't even there during any court hearing. I just don't find this fair at all.
no, I understand. However, part of the set aside process is, that taking the responsibility for what happened in the past. And it sounds like, unfortunately, you're just not there yet. And, there may be,
Oh,
say, I don't understand the underlying
Well, is there any way that I could push this further of them beating me since they want to push everything away? Because if I can't do this now, then I'm going to push this through the courts of how they put their hands on me and almost kill me.
Mandy pushes to reopen her case, citing bodycam footage and the potential for civil action. The judge advises her that while current proceedings cannot revisit the incident immediately, she may reapply in a year. Importantly, the judge provides her with a referral to Steve Drew, an attorney experienced in complaints against police. This shows the court balancing strict adherence to procedure with offering a path for potential justice, illustrating the limited but meaningful avenues available for post-conviction review.
Over a lie
with
that
regard
somebody
to
called
that,
on me.
yeah, the only thing I can advise is certainly a lawyer could take up those complaints. You know, if they found there was enough of a case there, you could
Yes,
bring.
I am, because I would really like, and I would like to, if anyone could send me his information, where I can give to a lawyer, because this right here, I feel that's not right, that a police officer had a right to punch me as big as he is with handcuffs on me in the back of my head
All
so
right.
many
Well, here's
times.
what I'll do is I'm gonna deny it today. However, I'll mark on the denial that you can reapply in a year. That'll give you some time to go through it with a lawyer. Guy I used to work with, Steve Drew, handles complaints against police officers. He's at
Yes, I would really like to
Drew
push
Cooper and
through with that,
Ending. If
because
you want someone to review the case, he'll at least review it. You know, and I can't make any comment as to its merit, but you can certainly tell Steve that Judge Rossi recommended him, you know, as an attorney to possibly review the case at least. So,
yeah, because I want to reopen that up or something, because I feel that that's not right, that happened to me in front of my daughter.
Mandy expresses deep frustration with the perceived injustice, arguing that the court staff reads the files without fully grasping the physical and emotional harm she alleges. She emphasizes the impact on her and her daughter, alleging false statements by a family member led to police action. The judge consistently notes the procedural limitations but remains empathetic, stressing that additional evidence could be considered after a year. This segment highlights the emotional weight of post-conviction hearings and the gap between formal rulings and personal sense of justice.